Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Elite Raceway. This is round 11 of our championship. Kyle, yeah, I know I was muted. I had to handle a couple things outside, but had to make sure a couple things were dealt with on the Discord chat. But anyways, we are here with our round 11 with our Tier 1 group. Unfortunately, our usual commentator, J-Dog, not here today, but I will be covering. Hopefully I could do just enough good job as he usually does. But anyways, we do have quite a number of drivers who have already put in a lap time. Colombo in the Red Bull puts in a provisional pole of a 127.3. And we do have, did want to mention, this is our penultimate race of the season here in the Suzuka circuit in Japan. One race after this, honestly, has been a phenomenal season from all these guys. Looking forward to seeing some of them return next season if possible. But a lot of them, yeah, really stamping their mark. Let's see, we do have on the driver standings, if you have yet to see our Instagram post, we did put up the standings, so make sure you take a look if you haven't. But Moikuli is leading with 292 points. His closest rival, Alex Carugo, who unfortunately is absent today. If my math is mathing, I think that just means that Moikuli has secured the Season 5 Drivers' Champion. And honestly, well deserved. He has, yeah, even if he retires today, he has a 67-point advantage, which makes him pretty much uncatchable. Do want to briefly mention that Kessinen puts in a 127.2, a tenth quicker than Colombo, so holding provisional pole at the moment. In third, we do have Stevie, 333 E's, putting in a hot lap at the moment. He did catch his first win last week on his first race with us, so honestly, looking forward to seeing what he does. He has put in a purple first sector. But yeah, we're going back to the championship. Yeah, Moikuli in first, Alex in second at the moment. We do have, from third to the rest, we do have Colombo, Nobuilt, and Suppies, who have really shown their skill. Currently in the top 5 right there. We do see Colombo and Suppies there. But yeah, Colombo with a reputation of climbing up the grid, despite EA screwing him over and having him start in the back, has put in some amazing drives. We have seen Colombo, Nobuilt, who has put in 2 wins in his 5 races with us. Ooh, looks like we're going to have Stevie go back into the pits. Take a look at anybody else. We have a few drivers who have yet to put in a lap time. We'll take a look at Tolu. It does seem like he is putting in his at the moment here in Sector 1. But Constructors Championship, we do have the Sauber team of Moikuli and, unfortunately, Jean-Claude, who's not here today, holding the lead with 308 points. Honestly, we're going to have to chip in and buy this man a massage chair, because he has been carrying that team on his back throughout this whole season. His old teammate Alvin Fang managed to put in 16 points. So he put in his part right there before he unfortunately had to back out for the season. But yeah, Moikuli handling the rest with one hand on the wheel and another hand on with a ice cold beer. Unfortunately, invalidating here despite putting a purple first sector. So going back to Tolu. But anyways, his new teammate Jean-Claude still haven't yet to put in some team points. Jean-Claude for the Kick Sauber team, but Moikuli still holding the fort. And anyways, from the Constructors battle, we do have the Ferraris. So as I mentioned, the Saubers with 308 points. The Ferraris with 244 points. That is going to be Nobuilt here today. Rijad having to reserve. And the Red Bull team, 243 points. Only a point dividing those two. And looks like Demube has left the session, so let me see if hopefully I could get him back in. Oh, doesn't look like he is appearing online, so I'll give it a couple minutes before I do. But Tolu crossing the line had put in a 128.3. At the moment, we do have Kessinen holding provisional pole at the moment. Do have quite a number of drivers who have yet to put in a time. That is going to be Moikuli in Sector 1. Ooh, a little bit of a whip right there on the exit. And I do wonder if he's actually going to go back into the pits since his fuel light is blinking. Let's take a look at the other drivers. That was Verja just crossing the line, puts in a 127.6, puts him up in the top 5 at the moment. And Garen Vitek, who is reserving from Tier 2, putting himself in P6 at the moment. So it looks like Moikuli is going to be going back into the pit lane, has yet to put in a time. So we'll keep a look at Kessinen, who, as I mentioned before, is holding provisional pole. Can he improve even further? Only a 10th is dividing him from Colombo in second. A few of the drivers getting out the way. Kessinen in Sector 2, finishing up pretty soon. And using that battery to try gaining some advantage. And looks like, unfortunately, he is down by 4/10. However, of course, you never know if he could improve in these final corners. And now it looks like he is going to settle with that. Sapi's right behind. Seems like he is on a banker lap. Or actually just might be out of fuel. And for our new viewers, if you are watching for the first time, we are going to be doing a 50% race. That is, if I'm not mistaken, that was 27 laps around the Japan circuit. At the moment, they are doing a short qualifying session, which will be ending soon. They do have about 4 minutes left of the qualifying session to secure their place in the starting grid. But keeping an eye on Mertsim. Looks like right behind him, Henry, who had... Actually, no, that was nobody who had just crossed the line, puts himself in 12th with a 129. So as Mertsim going back into the pit lane, his teammate for today, Chris, crossing the line, puts in a 129.6. So quite a few drivers who are very close together in terms of their lap times. Especially between Tolu and Kuryai. Tolu, who is currently on his outlap at the moment. And we do have the Mercedes of Infinity, who is putting in his lap. Infinity, who is in home race today. our very own Japanese driver. And in that case, I kind of hope he does manage a podium, or if anything, driver of the day. At least some shout out at the end of the game. But anyways, Infinity going around the final corners right here. Has plenty of battery to use up here on the straight and is going to cross the line. Puts in a 128.1 and mowing the lawn a little bit at the same time right there. But puts himself in 7th at the moment. So we do have two drivers who have yet to put in a time. That is Demube and Moikuli. Demube, I do wonder if he was able to join back in. You see he's online, so I'll send him an invite right there. But we do have quite a number of drivers in the front who are putting in a outlap at the moment. I think Noble is just starting his. So as I mentioned, it is going to be 27 laps around the circuit. The Suzuka circuit, 5.8 kilometer track. For us Americans, that is 3.6 miles. And 18 corners, 10 left-handers, 8 right-handers. A lot of easy corners where you can lose the traction, especially here in Noble, where Noble is going. We have seen quite a number of drivers in the past who have lost the traction there. But Noble keeping his car straight and steady. Curious to see if he has improved. Noble going a little bit wide right there. I wonder if that cost him a little bit of time. And actually, it did. It invalidated him. So unfortunately, Noble not able to put any time. We do have Tolu, who seems like he was finishing up his lap time. Puts in a 128.0. So 200s away from Garen Vitek right behind, who is currently putting in a lap time as well. And I do believe Moikuli has just started his, so curious to see if Moikuli is able to take advantage on these last couple seconds and try managing to put himself in the front row. Sopi's putting in a 127.1. So both the Haas drivers holding the front row at the moment. So if I'm not mistaken, that is 3 Finnish drivers, and I take that back. Stevia, 127.1. Was it 110? 2? Yeah, 100th away from Sopi's right there. So Stevie pushing down the 3 Finnish boys, and I am curious to see what Moikuli is able to do here. I think he was just teasing us in the earlier minutes of this qualifying session. Is going to cross the line, puts in a 127.0. So Moikuli holding a provisional pole at the moment. Is Colombo able to do anything? So Colombo seems like he's up by 2/10 from what it says, and super close timing from all these drivers. My gosh. So we do have Tolu, who seems to be going back into the pits. Curry, who has invalidated. That Alfa Rome's crossing the line, and it looks like he is going to have to settle with 18th with a 129.8. So honestly, a very close qualifying session from all these guys. My goodness. And so we are going to go over our starting grid. So we do have Moikuli starting on pole position at 127.0, phenomenal lap time. Sharing the front row with him is Colombo SSI. I'm not mistaken, that's an I. And in the rest, we have Stevie, 1991, Sopis, Kessanen, Rijad, Garen Vitek, Tolu, Infinity, Nobuilt, Mert Simp, Curry, Henry, Nobody, Booty Camp Slide, Guardians, iChris, Alfa Romes, and Demube, who I do wonder if he was able to join back into the session. But yeah, honestly, a really, really great qualifying session. Can't wait to see what the race is going to bring. I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure it wasn't going to rain. Nobody had mentioned anything on the chat. So, yeah, looks like it's going to be a dry race. As we like to mention to all the drivers, we uh, always give them a reminder to not ready up. We want to make sure we get these 3 to 5 minutes of a break, just to make sure everybody is able to secure their setups, put in their strategies. If you want to change your fuel, you have enough time. But yes. And after this, we do have our formation lap. So they will be having one extra lap to go around and try warming up those tires. And as I always like to remind all the drivers to make sure you drive sensibly and cautiously on the first corner, specifically more the first lap, just because of the congestion of cars. Be prepared to brake early. Please don't think that a three wide into the first corner is going to go smoothly. I beg you. Uh, like I mentioned, there's only one race after this. So please don't give the stewards more work to do. But anyways, yeah, let's take a look at their tire strategy. So as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a dry race. Most likely, drivers will be going for a one-stopper, mediums to hards, possibly hard to mediums. Chances of a safety car, you never know. There's plenty of runoff on this track. However, I have seen in the past, and I've had dealt with in the past, safety cars on this track. So yeah, don't be prepared. But honestly, best of luck to all these drivers. Has been an incredible season, so looking forward to seeing how the season ends. Alrighty, so they do have the ready up, and I think Henry has left the session, unfortunately. So let me see if I can hopefully get him into the session again. Alrighty, so as I mentioned, they do have the formation lap on. Let's get all this information up. And so it looks like the majority of the drivers are opting for the medium tires. We only have one driver uh, on the hard compounds, and that is nobody sitting in 14th at the moment. Alfa Rome's on the soft tires, looking to make some moves. I'm assuming in the beginning, but those tires. I mean, it is high degradation on this track, so I am curious to see if he'll be in dire need of an early safety car with those tires. So as I mentioned, Moikuli leading the championship. Uh, is he going to be able to get away from Colombo, who is going to be right behind him? Stevie as well. Honestly, these two have shown incredible pace this season in the races that they've participated in. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on Soppies or even Kessinen. Honestly, the top five just very competitive drivers with incredible pace. So as the grid lines up, I do see one of the drivers asking me a question on the chat. Alrighty, so Henry is able to join back into the session. Unfortunately, of course, he can't take control of the car during the formation lap, so here's hoping he can do so safely in lap 1. As I mentioned, all the drivers going to be super close to each other. Mike Cooley trying to lock the inside line. We can see his car facing the inside. And so 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off they go. And Colombo having a really good start. Moikuli slow on the start. And so Colombo's now our race leader. We do have Sophie's going on the inside. A couple of drivers making some moves as well. Rijad getting past Kessinen. Kessinen dropping down a couple positions. We do have yellow flags. It seems like that is the Aston Martin booty cam slide. But other than that, all the drivers in single file, it seems. Everyone trying to look for that gap to make a move. And it seems like that is another yellow flag. That is Henry most likely getting control of his car now. Bit of a rough start for him, so head down. You never know what can happen. We do have a couple movements happening in the front as well. Like Stevie getting past Soppies, and that is another yellow flags, and that appears to be the Williams of Curry. So I will say quite a clean start in the front, and everybody looking like they're professional drivers, single file formation. And I think Henry might actually be struggling a little bit. Yeah, going back onto the track. Ooh, a little bit of a lag, so here's hoping he's not affecting anybody. But that is Rijad. Not exactly sure what happened there, but losing quite a number of positions. Alfa Rome's now up 7 positions, getting past Rijad now. And we do have DRS enabled on this lap as well. And that was yellow flags, and that appears to be a safety car, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a number of drivers, right? Let's see if I can take a look at where... Yeah, that is going to be a safety car. So a safety car already on the second lap. I think that may have been Henry who retired and just unfortunately wasn't having really good luck. Might have been on really cold tires, not used to it, having to take control. And actually, no, looks like from the Discord chat, looks like Henry the game was typical EA. The game not letting Henry take control of the car and retiring his car. So I do wonder if the safety car came out because of that or another incident, because Curry did have to pit. So as I mentioned, safety car, very highly possible, and as we see already out on the second lap, Alfa Rome's gaining multiple positions up in 11th now. And yeah, just very unfortunate for Henry. The typical EA doing its stuff. But let's see. We do have a couple of drivers who are opting to pit as Alfa Rome's getting rid of the soft tires, and Rijad as well out of the mediums. So Alfa Rome switching over to the hard compounds now. just take a quick look at the position changes. So Ichris, if J-Dog was here, he'd be hyping Ichris up. So Ichris of 7 positions, up in the top 10 at the moment. And we do have a couple of movements that have happened as well. Tolu up 3, Nobody up 3 as well. Demube looks like who has still yet to... Yeah, looks like he hasn't been able to join back into the session, so his AI is here. Alrighty, so we are waiting for a couple of drivers to catch up to the grid. So if I'm not mistaken, the safety car is going to go in most likely next lap. And it seems like we have a little bit of confusion happening in the back, possibly Infinity and Booty Camp Slide. I will say the names are very creative. I do want to know the history of his choice on this name. Going to have to make an awards at the end of the season for best gamer tag. I will say the McLaren of Nobody in a really good position at the moment, holding on with those hard compounds. Everybody in front of him on the mediums. So with a slight tire advantage here, you could gain a couple positions. That's if another safety car doesn't come out. But both Finnish drivers locking in the front at the moment. Is Moikuli going to be attempting an attack on the safety car restart though? Does have Stevie right behind him, so definitely be keeping an eye on these on the front. But as I mentioned, yep, safety car is in this lap. And we have Moikuli leading the safety car restart, so slowing down to give the safety car enough time to get back into the pits. All the drivers having to make sure to keep a comfortable distance behind each other. And so it looks like Colombo has chosen to set off a little bit wiggly right there on the exit, but keeping the distance ahead of Moikuli. So Stevie trying to get a bit of that slipstream right behind of Moikuli. Looks like everybody just tailing right behind of each other. So Kessinen closing in on the back of the Alpine of Tolu. And I did see Rijad dropping down a couple positions there, so Rijad currently in 18th. And so everybody keeping a comfortable gap behind of each other. DRS is going to be enabled on the next upcoming lap. We do have the grand majority of the drivers still within less than a second behind of each other. So it's looking like it's going to be quite a long DRS train if they could keep the pace here. Noble making a move on Kesselman. And that is the Williams of Garen Vitek going onto the grass, turning the car into a lawnmower, and looks like Mertsim trying to look for a move on the inside line. Looks like up ahead there's a bit of movement as well, so I'm sorry if I don't catch all of it. But Garen Vitek holding ahead of Mertsim, and Moikuli appears to get the fastest lap of 131.5 at the moment with the 5-lap-old mediums. Ooh, catching a little bit of the grass right there on the S's. So as I mentioned, Sector 1 is a very tricky part of the track. Alfa Rome's retiring in the pit lane. So that is, of course, not going to bring out a safety car, but very unfortunate for him. I am curious to know if anything happened specifically, but... Or it could just be feeling uncomfortable on the track driving it, but... The top 7 at the moment, still less than a second behind of each other. Tolu hanging on slightly behind of Soppies, but does have Nobil breathing down his neck. So Nobil trying to use that battery, trying to catch up to the Alpine. But up ahead, we are going to be having Moikuli right behind of Colombo within the DRS. Moikuli not really with enough battery to really make an attack. Looks like Colombo stealing that fast lap on 131.3. So Moikuli staying behind of Colombo. Nobil getting the move done on Tolu. We do have all the deltas closing in on each other. Mertsim still holding on to the back of the Williams of Garen Vitek. Garen Vitek doing a phenomenal job to hold top 10 here. Looks like Moikuli is trying to push out Stevie from the DRS. Let's see, all the deltas are still closing out behind each other. Mertsim still holding on behind the Garen Vitek. It does seem like Moikuli now has closed up with Colombo and has to have a really good exit here. Colombo using that battery to defend, and it doesn't look like Moikuli is going to be close enough to make a move. Nobil now with the fastest lap of 131.1. You have Nobil going on the inside and gets the move done on Safi, so Nobil now up to 4th. So we do have a lot of deltas closing up on each other. Moikuli still holding on within less than a second behind of Colombo. He does have Stevie now right behind him. So the top 3 doing well to push out Nobil as well. And Nobil, actually no, start Stevie doing a really good job to try saving up that battery and waiting to make the attack. So can Moikuli have a good exit here? A little bit of a cat and dog chase for Moikuli and Colombo, but Stevie also closing in as well with the DRS, extending the gap ahead of Nobil. Yeah, as I mentioned, the majority of this is going to be a DRS train of between quite a number of drivers. So, but we do have Rija making the move on Nobody and puts himself in 12th at the moment. And I am curious to know when the medium runners are going to opt to pit and change out of them. Stevie sitting comfortably right behind of the two ahead of him. Using a little bit of battery just to make sure he secures that DRS in the next upcoming straight. But Colombo, honestly, still holding on, does really well on that final corner, I will say. I think up behind we do have, seems like that is the pass of Kessinen, who's looking to make a move on Tolu. So there's been quite a few laps without any movement happening in the front. Going back to the position changes, so Noble up 6 positions, and Icris as well 6 positions. So those two are our highest position changes. Oh, Infinity taking a little bit too much of the curve and having a taste of the gravel. So he does have Mertzimp right behind of him. So Infinity still hanging on to 9th. And Garen Vitek with a gap ahead of him, 3.7 seconds behind of Kessinen, trying to defend against the two right behind him. It looks like we might have a bit of movement happening as well between Kessinen and Tolu. It looks like Kessinen trying to look for a move on the inside, choosing to back out, which is honestly a good call. But looking up ahead, I don't think there's going to be any movement yet between the three up in the front. So we do have the Alpine of Tolu choosing to pit. And so we have Tolu and Mertzimp who have both pulled the trigger and opting to choose the hard compounds now. And it looks like Nobu has caught up with the three up in the front. So Nobu has actually joined in the party and is going to be contesting for a possible podium, it seems, if he's able to keep the pace. And it does seem like Colombo has picked it up a little bit, trying to extend that gap ahead of Moikuli. But Stevie looking to make a move on the inside, and is he going to make it stick? Ooh, a little bit of contact between him and Moikuli there, but no harm, no foul. Stevie is going to get the DRS here. However, Moikuli does get it off of Colombo, but Stevie closing in, and is he going to be able to make a move? Goes for the outside, but Moikuli holding the inside line well. And so Moikuli is going to stay ahead. Icris now picking up a 3-second penalty, and I do believe we had the Finnish driver of Sapi's Yep, it looks like he has gone into the pit as well to change out of those tires. Bit of movement happening in the back as well. Infinity and Garen VTech. Garen VTech staying ahead of Infinity there. So really good driving from the drivers up in the front. Stevie's really trying to capitalize and try getting that position from Moikuli. But Moikuli is doing a really good job to defend and not let it happen. With the Ferrari of No Build staying right behind the Stevie within less than a second. And who is going to be the first driver to bite the gun and go into the pits? And as I say that, so Colombo going into the pit lane and Moikuli joining him as well. Stevie opting to stay out. And he does have Nobuo right behind him, however, not close enough to make any movement yet, even with the DRS. It does seem like we do have a battle between Tolu and Sopis as well. A bit of rear contact right there, but Sophie is still keeping the car straight. Tolu is going to get the DRS. So has the flap open, has the DRS activated as well, and is going to be able to make the move past Sophie, so up to 9th for Tolu. So a little bit of in a Haas sandwich. And that was yellow flags, and I think that was the Red Bull of Guardians who may have had a little bit of a spin right there at the exit. I do wonder if he picked up any damage. Curry now picking up a 3-second penalty, so that is 2 drivers with 3 seconds. That is Curry and Ichris. And looking up ahead, Colombo getting the move done on Curry as well. So Colombo with the fresh lap old hard compounds, Curry defending with the 11 lap old hard tires. And looks like we do have a battle in the front as well. So Stevie and No Build, both of them trying to get that position. A little bit of contact there. However, I do think No Build is going to be getting the DRS here. And so No Build now our new race leader at the moment, getting the move done on Stevie. And we do have the Mercedes of Infinity choosing to pit as well. So we do have only 4 drivers who have yet to pit. That is No Build, Stevie, Infinity now choosing to pit. 3 drivers actually, so Guardians as well who has yet to pit. And Guardians now pick up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. Guardians is a tier 2 driver and Gnosis division 2 driver, so a little bit of a looks like he's going to retire. Yeah, it's a little bit of practice for him in preparation for the next upcoming races. So yeah, here's hoping he got enough practice and knows what to do and what not to do. And I hope what not to do is going to be not speeding in the pit lane. But anyways, up ahead we do have Stevie right on the back of the Ferrari of No Build. And can he make a move here? No Build going a bit wide. And so Stevie, with the DRS, is going to have the advantage and stay ahead. It does seem like we do have Moikuli on the back of his good friend Curry. And he is going to get the DRS as well and is going to be able to make the move nice and easily. However, Colombo extending that gap 2 seconds ahead of Moikuli now. And oh, looks like we do have the Alpine of Tolu who is onto the gravel. I don't know if there was a bit of contact between him and possibly Kessanen, I think it was, but yeah, if there was an incident, just make sure you record your race and you can send it in for the stewards to look at. But it could have also very well has been a mistake, since we do know how this track is, especially on that first sector. Anyways, Colombo getting past Rijad, who is still holding on with 12 lap old hard compounds, actually having had to pit earlier. And so it looks like our two front runners, Stevie and Nobil, choosing to pit now. And I am curious to see how much of a gap there will be once Colombo and Moikuli pass by. They are going to possibly be having Rijad ahead of them as well. Colombo picking up the fastest, actually no, Moikuli picking up the fastest lap, 130.1. Looks like we might have a bit of a battle between the two. Sop is looking to make a move on the inside, but choosing to stay right behind of his teammate Kessanen. And so as I mentioned, yeah, so Stevie and Nobil both coming out behind of Rijad, who is on 13 lap old hard compounds. Nobil right behind Curry, 14 lap old compounds. And actually, it looks like Alfa Rome's is having a bit of issues with his game, so that is why he had to retire, unfortunately. So hopefully next race he has better luck. But anyways, looking up ahead, we do have Stevie now. Actually, Rijad doing a really good job to not really battle that out. You know, aware that his tires are old and you know no chance to really defend against fresher tires. Nobil looking to make a move on Curry and is able to get the move done. So Nobil also has his teammate Rijad for today, right ahead of him. But most likely Rijad is going to be letting his teammate pass. I think his main competitor for today is Curry right behind him. But 10 laps remaining, including this one, and Colombo doing a really good job to stay ahead of Moikuli. So 1.2 seconds, extending the gap as well. And looking back at the penalties, that is Curry with the 3 seconds. He does have Kessanen and Sopi's right behind him within those 3 seconds. So Rijad letting his teammate pass, and looks like Kessanen getting past Curry as well. Actually, a little bit of a battle between Sopi's and Curry there, but looks like Curry isn't going to put in that fight. Self-aware of the tire difference. It looks like we had some good duos today. So the two Ferraris and the two Haas right behind of each other. But it doesn't look like we're gonna be having any movements happening up ahead. Sopi's a little bit wiggly there on the exit, and Rijad has chosen to pit, as well as Curry. So both of them getting out of those old lap hard compounds now. It looks like Infinity and Garen Vitek have seen each other pretty much the majority of the races. I will say has been a really impressive race. I won't lie, I was a little bit nervous about Japan, especially the first corner. But honestly, these drivers, amazing racing, and as I always want to mention, can't wait to see what the next season brings. More information will be coming out regarding that. Uh, we will have a nice little break between the two seasons just to give the staff, especially me, a bit of a break. But no, we love how much all the drivers try showing up every week. Those who commit or reserve every once in a while, we do really appreciate it. We can't do it without you guys, so we do appreciate it. But yeah, looking up ahead, so Stevie now less than a second behind of Moikuli. We do have Infinity right on the back of Garen Vitek as well. Seems there is a bit of movement happening between Ichris and Rijad. So Rijad with the fresh mediums having gotten the overtake on Ichris with 7-lap-old hards. So it looks like Colombo still extending the gap a second and a half ahead of Moikuli. Moikuli now is Stevie right on his neck. And honestly, Stevie doing a phenomenal job to really save up that battery and really use it at the moments necessary. But is Stevie going to be able to use his battery and the DRS to make an overtake on Moikuli here on the next upcoming straight? So Stevie is going to get the flap open, is going to use a little bit of battery, and Moikuli, a sitting duck, unfortunately not able to make any defense there, but Stevie, ooh, I think that was a little bit close for comfort there between those two, but Stevie remaining ahead. And now it looks like he has picked up the pace and on the chase for Colombo. Still a little bit of a battle between Infinity and Garen Vitek. Infinity really waiting for that move. And Moikuli now picking up a 3-second penalty. As I was looking at Curry getting the overtake done on Ichris. So Moikuli with the 3-second penalty. And that is going to hurt him for the battle for the front. He does still have a gap of over 3 seconds ahead of No-Built. However, see the tire difference. No-Built on 4-lap-old hard compounds, Moikuli 7-lap-olds. So curious to see if that is going to make a difference at the end. And now Stevie is less than a second behind of Colombo, so he is going to get that DRS to help pull him away from Moikuli. So it looks like within these final laps, it is going to be a battle between these two. And we'll keep an eye on the Delta for No-Built as well. But Infinity getting the overtake done finally on Garen Vitek. Garen Vitek possibly looking for a switchback. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? No, he's going to back out. And so Infinity up to 8th now. Looks like we have another driver who has joined in the penalty party, so that is Mertzim picking up a 3-second penalty, and it appears to be a yellow flags as well. I don't know who. There might have been Mertzim who has dropped down quite a bit behind of Garen Vitek. Anyways, looking at the battle up ahead, Stevie now right on the back of Colombo, enough to sniff that gearbox. Oh, a little bit of a snap for the Alpine right there, but he does have the battery does have the DRS, and is he going to be able to make a move before the corner is going to go around the outside? Well, Colombo looks like he had a little bit of a whip as well, but held the inside line well, and so Stevie still remaining right behind Colombo. They do have Mike Cooley just watching them from right behind. And unfortunately, Mertz picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane and retiring from the session in the pits. And Tolu as well, I do. Is that from in the pit lane as well? I can't really take a look right there, but I'm not exactly sure what happened to Tolu. Because his car is still on the is on the track. Anyways, looking at the front row. So we still have the top three less than a second behind of each other. Noble, who has now closed the gap, less than 3 seconds behind Mike Cooley, who has that 3-second penalty. So Stevie still not close enough to make any movement yet. Mike Cooley having to brake a little bit right there, right behind of Stevie. And we do have the two Haas drivers still right behind of each other. Looks like these are going to be our main gaps to focus on. So Sophie's right behind of Kessinen. And our top three drivers as well. Oh, and it looks like nobody has left the session. So here's hoping I'm gonna try getting him back in. Hopefully he's aware that he left. I know sometimes I've had a few times where the drivers think that we left and they're the only ones on the track. So here's hoping he knows. But anyways, keeping an eye on Stevie, still right behind of Colombo. Appears like Mike Cooley has dropped back a little bit, and Noble has now come right back into the battle. And now less than a second behind him, Mike Cooley, so he is going to get that DRS. But keep an eye on Stevie. Can he make the move this time? It looks like no, he's gonna have to settle right behind Colombo. Noble as well, right behind Mike Cooley. And looks like Mert Simp has had a little bit of an issue with his controller, which is why he had to retire. I've had it happen to me multiple times where the force feedback does disappear. So I do agree, it is quite impossible to drive. So yeah, I can understand retiring from the session because of that. But yeah, very few laps remaining, and we do have the top four still within the battle. And it looks like the Ferrari of Noble looking to make a move on the inside. I think that may have been a bit of a lockup there. Camera angle not really giving me much to see, but Noble now dropping back. And of course, if you feel like that was a mistake from the other driver, like I mentioned, you could definitely send in a report for the stewards to see. But yeah, I don't know about that from what I saw, but anyways, looking at the front row, so 3 laps remaining, including this one. We do have Stevie still hanging right behind Colombo. Both of them pretty much on equal battery. Moikuli having used up a little bit to keep up with them, but as I mentioned, Moikuli with the 3-second penalty, no built. I'd be really surprised if he's able to close up that gap again, despite that spin. But oh, Moikuli might be struggling a tad bit. Moikuli going wide. Stevie is on fresher tires compared to them, 9-lap-old hard compounds compared to their 12-lap-olds. So Moikuli possibly struggling a little bit, using pretty much all that battery to try keeping up with them. So as I mentioned, Moikuli, even if he doesn't win, even if he does retire, will be securing the championship title for Season 5. So still a phenomenal job by him, keeping it consistent, keeping it with points. I don't think there's been a race where he's retired. So it has been a very well-deserved championship battle for him. So Nobel does have 3-lap-old younger tires compared to Moikuli. Oh, Nobel a little bit catching the car a little bit well right there, but is trying to close that gap behind of Moikuli. So looking at the penalties, so still only 4 drivers with 3-second penalties. That is Moikuli, Curry, Icris, and Booty Camp Slide. And we are currently on the penultimate lap. Is Stevie going to look to make a move here on this next upcoming DRS straight? This track doesn't really give a lot of chances for an overtake, much easier overtake compared to the DRS straight. Has to have a really good exit, does have plenty of battery saved up, and it looks like they have pushed out Moikuli over a second behind of Stevie now. Stevie trying to use up that battery, and is he going to make a move on the inside? No, it's Colombo trying to defend the inside line. Looks like a little bit of wheel bumping right there, but both of them staying right alongside each other, and looks like Stevie manages to get ahead of Colombo. And as this happens, I am keeping an eye on the delta between Moikuli and Noble as well. Like I mentioned, this is the last lap. Moikuli has a 3-second penalty. Noble with now less than 3 seconds, it seems. So Noble possibly looking for a podium finish. So Colombo still hanging on right behind of Stevie, trying to use that battery. I think he has one last chance on the next upcoming straight right after this corner. But Noble on holding on by a thread. Can Noble secure a podium finish? It looks like Stevie's still remaining ahead, using up that battery, possibly looking for a second win for his second race here with us. Has to make sure he keeps the car nice and steady on these final corners, and looks like he is. And so Stevie crossing the line gets the win here in Japan. Colombo in second. Noble can... Oh, looks like Noble might have had a little bit of an incident. A little bit of a driver error on the final corner. So dropped back 0.5 seconds. Sorry, 0.5 seconds behind of Moikuli. Half a second. It looks like Sapi's remaining behind his teammate Keston throughout the whole race. Both of them doing a really good job as a team. Don't think there's going to be any changes happening in the back as well. Nobody, I'm not exactly sure if he was able to get back into his car. But D-Mube, unfortunately not racing this race. I don't know if he got disconnected or what, but Uh, anyways, his points won't count for those right behind him, and that will be his teammate Booty Camp Slide. And looks like nobody having a bit of issue with his game. But anyways, amazing race. We do have looks like Infinity driver of the day. Like I mentioned, he is our only Japanese driver here. Uh, so nice to see he gets a little bit of a shout out on his home track. Fastest lap, that is Stevie, and most overtakes Rijad. So phenomenal driving from these guys. Going over the final race results, we do have Stevie for the win, picking up that fastest lap, extra 2 points, a 129.8. Sharing the podium, we have Colombo SSI and Moikuli, so the two Finnish drivers securing a podium finish. Moikuli, I'll give him an early shout out, getting the championship title. Big congratulations and well deserved. Do have a couple seconds for this. From fourth to the end, we have Nobil, Kessanen, Sapis, Infinity, Garen Vitek, Rijad, Curry, Icris, Nobody, Demube, Booty Camp Slide, and our 5 DNFs. That is Tolu, Mert, Sim, Guardians, Alpha Realms, and Henry. So that is our race results for round 11 in Japan. And like I mentioned, this is our penultimate race. We do have one last race next week, and that is going to be in Abu Dhabi. Most likely commentated by J-Dog again. But honestly, a really good race. Has been a really good season. A lot of these drivers really improving compared to how they started. Some of them coming already well prepared for the race. Was a really good drive from all these drivers, and can't wait to see more. But anyways, yeah, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for our viewers. Hope you enjoyed. We do have our Tier 2 group on Monday, as well as our Gnosis Division 1 group on Monday. And to end the race week, we do have our Gnosis Division 2 group. So all drivers, all race groups racing in Japan. And also, I do want to give a little shout out. We do have a new website as well. So make sure you go to eliteraceway.com. We will be posting that soon in our Discord channel. But yeah, one of our drivers doing a really good, genuine job to make us a website. We do really appreciate it. That is Alex from Division 2, not our Alex Carugo. That's a different Alex. But anyways, yeah, we do appreciate all the views. Make sure you like and subscribe and to get our notifications. And if anything, yeah, if you want to contact us or if you're interested in racing, we do have our Discord link on our YouTube channel description. But anyways, great job from all the drivers. Looking forward to next week. And everybody have a good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you guys are watching from.